On August 1st, all black people should boycott African businesses in America.
I don't associate myself with African. I'm not African, bro. I would never sell my sister for a bottle of water. I don't do shit like that. We don't do shit like that over here.
Even if you were born in the US and you've lived in the US for 400 years, your DNA still whispers Africa.
Fighting Africans. What is this? Is this World War, African World War something?
It's a complex conversation happening right now within the African American community. We're talking about a growing call, believe it or not, to boycott Black-owned businesses.
I see that there's a protest that going on August 1st to boycott all African salons, all African business.
But like, we've got emboldened racists. We got a president who is a pedophile, a predator, and a felon. And now somehow, some way, we're, as Black Americans, we supposed to boycott African businesses. Can we handle what the fuck is really like fucking with our money in our day-to-day life first?
Now, I know that sounds shocking, probably painful for many to hear, but our sources show this isn't just noise. It's a real thing, a significant tension. So our mission in this deep dive is to get past the surface level stuff. We want to explore why this is happening. What are the core reasons? And crucially, what are the risks? What does this mean for Black entrepreneurs, for community unity, for, economic power down the line?
Yeah, it's incredibly layered. And I think the first thing to grasp, looking at the sources, is that this isn't your typical consumer complaint situation, not entirely. You've got this collision, right? On one hand, these deep historical expectations.
Okay, they're supposed to have a boycott on August 1st to boycott all African businesses. Wow. And who are the people that are organizing it? Our fellow brothers and sisters, Americans, Black Americans.
I don't understand it. The way that Black African Americans see Africans in general is so disgusting. Like, with the bottom of the barrel people, but yet you classify yourself as an African American. And why? Then take that African out of your name and just be a normal American. Gosh,
it's so sad to see that.
But it's not even about that. Me personally, I respect my Black people. I respect my Black Americans, and I'm African, and forever I'll always see them as me.
Black businesses as pillars, as community anchors. And on the other hand, you have these very real present-day frustrations, people feeling let down, sometimes even exploited. And that clash, it creates this really unique, intense feeling of betrayal. It's complicated.
Okay, let's break down those frustrations then, because it's vital to state up front, this anger isn't coming from nowhere. People have specific complaints. Our sources point to things like really disappointing customer service. You hear stories.
Right, yeah. Long waits, indifference, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or concerns about price fairness, seeing products marked up significantly higher, maybe feeling that pressure to buy Black even when the value doesn't seem to be there.
See, this whole nonsense started with a bunch of Black African Americans claiming that, oh, we're not African, we don't come from Africa. Well, shit, we thought that was crazy. Now they're talking about boycotting African businesses? How the hell you gonna boycott African businesses? You don't know Afrobeat is a type of African product and literally Black music?
Only a fool would think that something substantial comes out of this boycott.
So let me tell you why I won't be participating in this boycott. Firstly, because of the fact that, like, as a Black American who had to fight tooth and nail to figure out our lineage, firstly, I've traced my family's lineage back to the 1700s.
And then there's this issue of professionalism, or sometimes a perceived lack of it. These aren't just small gripes for people. They feel like breaches of trust. Especially, when they compare the experience to what they get elsewhere. It boils down to expecting a certain level of respect and quality.
And not always getting it.
Right. And digging into the sources, some folks argue it goes even deeper than just bad service on a particular day. We're seeing claims, and these are sensitive, but claims of colorism filtering into interactions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that me as a black American, we jealous of Africans because y'all starting businesses here in the United States? That don't make sense. Y'all too busy selling each other out. Why would I be jealous of that?
Black Americans that are trying to fight Africans, oh my God, saying you gotta boycott African businesses. You can boycott all you want. But one thing I will tell you is God got us.
Your ancestors practiced African spirituality and they ate African food. They also spoke African languages before slavery beat it, burnt it, and erased it from them.
Well, that feeling of betrayal just hits differently, doesn't it? It leads directly to that question people are asking. Why should I support businesses that don't seem to support me back?
You really put your finger on it there, that sense of betrayal. It's amplified because these businesses, historically, weren't just shops. They were often the only places you could shop or get certain services. They were community hubs, symbols of resilience, of self-determination against hostile outside forces.
Absolutely. Safe spaces.
Exactly. So when those deep, almost unspoken expectations aren't met today, it feels like more than just a bad transaction. It feels like a crack in that communal bond. That history, that weight, it makes the disappointment feel so much sharper. It's why this whole conversation carries so much weight.
Okay, so understanding that deep frustration, that historical weight, is key. But, and this is a big but, this brings us to the next critical piece for you, our listener. When the reaction is a call to boycott, what are the ripple effects? What are the maybe unintended consequences? Who really loses out?
Do me a favor. Add one thing more to it. Boycott our African brothers. That's right. Boycott all of them. Leave all the African men alone then.
So when you say you have no root in Africa, you are not speaking facts. You're talking from a place of pain and cultural disconnection.
And one thing I want to remind the Black Americans, the one that are proving their points that they are Americans. Yes, you are an American. You believe in yourself. Love yourself enough to know who you are. And accept it. Accept who you are. You don't have to fight for it.
We are all one. We all black. Please don't let anybody come between us.
That's the crucial question.
We know, I mean, it's well documented, that most Black entrepreneurs face enormous hurdles already. Access to capital, often limited. Loans, harder to get. Networks, sometimes not as established.
The playing field isn't level to start with.
Not at all. So when you add a boycott from within the community onto that, the impact is huge. It's not just the business owner who gets hurt. Think about their employees, their families. Think about the money that could have circulated within the community.
If you have an issue with certain salon or whatever, I think you should address that directly to that place. But to say to boycott African salon, African restaurant, African market, okay, that's your right. Have you ever boycotted all these Chinese stores, all these beauty supply stores that be treating you guys like nobody?
You are right. As an American, I'm an American. Yeah, so don't fight for it. Me, I don't fight. If I tell you I'm an American, you don't believe. I'm a Kenyan American, you don't believe it. That is your problem.
When are we going to have this united identity within the Black diaspora like we see the Jews having? Do you see how strong and powerful the Jewish diaspora is? With all their differences that they have among themselves, they stay united.
That cycle gets broken. It makes that whole pursuit of Black wealth building, of economic independence, even tougher. So the risk here, it almost feels like self-sabotage in a way.
It's a painful paradox.
Yeah. You're aiming for accountability, which is fair. But the method, a widespread boycott, could end up weakening the very economic structures the community needs to build collective strength.
You guys, you cry. Or you're crying because of $100 that you... If you don't have a good hairdo, stop whining. Move on to the next hair braider. And you'll be all right. Nobody forces you to go to African braiders. You know? You are worried about SS Fest or whatever it was sold to blacks or whatever, Africans. Oh my goodness, you guys are crazy.
Okay, you want to boycott African businesses, African salons, African restaurant, African supermarket? Okay, can you guys add 2 things more to it? Can you guys boycott the African men's?
And ironically, who benefits then? Maybe the very external systems that historically made it hard for these businesses in the first place. Can you elaborate on that bigger picture risk?
Well, connecting it back, it really becomes a strategic question, doesn't it? If the long-term goal is Black economic empowerment, community resilience,
Yeah.
does this tactic actually move us closer? The intent might be accountability, holding business to a standard. But if the outcome is weakening our own internal economic infrastructure,
Then you're potentially undermining the goal.
exactly. It makes you ask, are we tackling the problem in a way that actually builds our collective power? Or are we, without meaning to, making those external barriers even stronger?
That's a really sobering point. It forces a tough calculation. But let me push back slightly here, based on some of the nuances in the sources. Is there also a risk, maybe, that placing so much historical and social burden on these businesses makes it harder for them to just function as businesses?
That's a really fair point.
Like, does that immense expectation sometimes become an unfair weight, hindering their ability to focus on efficiency, profit, the things any business needs to survive?
It absolutely highlights the tightrope many Black-owned businesses walk. They're expected to be profitable ventures, yes, but also community pillars. That dual expectation is, well, it's a lot. It means they need solid business practices, sure, but the community often also holds them to a higher standard of service, of reinvestment that goes beyond just dollars and cents.
Right.
So finding that balance, achieving accountability without crushing the business under that weight.
And let me remind you, Black Americans, this is a reminder. There is, even if you boycott, Africans, we are blessed. We are blessed. And everywhere we touch, everywhere we step in this country, everywhere we step our foot is blessed. Favor locates us. You think it's a joke to go to American embassy and get an American visa? Do you know how hard it is?
Do you African restaurant treat you any different? You are Black like me. We all Black. We all brothers and sisters. It's sad to see that there's a protest going on towards Africans.
Shit, boycott yourself. On the serious note, first of all, my African brothers and sisters, continental Africans, please do not disrespect 99.9% of our African American brothers and sisters who do not partake in the madness of division that you see on the internet these days, especially this whole bullshit about August 1st.
It's incredibly complex. It's not just about spreadsheets, it's about relationships and history too.
That complexity is key. Okay, so given all this, the valid frustrations, the serious risks, what's the way forward? What do the sources suggest? It seems like a crucial distinction needs to be made. The difference between boycotting, essentially, withdrawing support entirely, and demanding better.
Yes, accountability versus annihilation, maybe.
Exactly. It is absolutely fair, even necessary, to hold Black-owned businesses to high standards. Quality matters, professionalism matters, fairness matters. That shouldn't be up for debate. But instead of just walking away, maybe the energy could be channeled differently. The sources offer alternatives, constructive paths. What about, say, giving direct, honest, constructive feedback aimed at helping them improve?
Instead of just venting online, perhaps.
Right. Or how about actively celebrating and supporting the Black entrepreneurs who are getting it right, lifting them up as examples? Could we invest more in education, training, sharing best practices for new business owners, building coalitions, networks to help each other succeed?
Mentorship, resource sharing.
Yes. It comes down to this idea of calling each other in, not out, engaging directly, aiming for mutual improvement rather than just isolating and dividing.
Are we dealing with enough in this country? Don't we have enough stuff that we're dealing with?
Boycotting African restaurants and African braiding shops before you boycott Starbucks, Lululemon, McDonald's, Tyson, which supports prison slavery, and all these white brands that support slavery and was literally created during slavery and still thriving.
Brothers and sisters, forget the whole boycotting thing. Let's focus on reconciliation.
No community, no business sector is perfect. Thriving requires ongoing dialogue, doesn't it? A commitment to addressing internal challenges constructively. It's not about reaching some perfect endpoint overnight. It's about everyone committing to the process of getting better together.
Yeah.
That journey strengthens the whole community.
We are not competition. We don't have no compete. We're not competition. We don't have no compete. We don't compete with you guys. I don't even know what to say.